The sprawling estate of Blackwood Manor sat nestled in the rolling hills of the English countryside, its gray stone facade imposing against the perpetually overcast sky. It was here, amidst the echoing halls and manicured gardens, that Clara, a young woman of modest means and quiet demeanor, arrived as the new governess. Her charge was not a child, but the spirited yet often melancholic heiress of the estate, Lady Eleanor. Eleanor, bound by the rigid expectations of her station, found herself trapped in a gilded cage. Her days were filled with tedious social calls and lessons in etiquette, a life devoid of genuine connection. Clara, with her intelligence and gentle understanding, was a breath of fresh air. She didn't treat Eleanor as a fragile ornament, but as an equal, challenging her mind with literature and philosophy and engaging her in conversations that delved beneath the surface of polite society. Their lessons in the sun-drenched library soon became the highlight of Eleanor's day. Amidst the scent of old books and beeswax, they would lose themselves in discussions, their voices barely above a whisper so as not to disturb the hushed atmosphere of the manor. It was in these quiet moments, shared over cups of tea and the turning of pages, that something deeper than friendship began to blossom. Clara found herself captivated by Eleanor's hidden depths, her wit, her passion for art, and the flicker of rebellion in her eyes. Eleanor, in turn, was drawn to Clara's calming presence, her unwavering kindness, and the way she seemed to see the real Eleanor beneath the layers of silk and lace. Their connection deepened during their walks in the estate's expansive gardens. Away from the prying eyes of the household, amongst the blooming roses and whispering willow trees, their conversations became more personal. They spoke of their dreams, their fears, and the longing for a life less constrained. One afternoon, as they sat by a secluded pond, the air thick with the scent of jasmine, a comfortable silence fell between them. Eleanor reached out, her fingers brushing against Clara's as they rested on the stone bench. The touch sent a jolt through Clara, a warmth that spread through her veins. She looked up to find Eleanor gazing at her with an intensity that took her breath away. "Sometimes," Eleanor whispered, her voice trembling slightly, "I feel as though you are the only person who truly sees me, Clara." Clara's heart fluttered. "And you, Lady Eleanor," she replied softly, her own voice barely audible. In that moment, the unspoken feelings that had been simmering between them became undeniable. It was a love born in the quiet corners of a grand house, nurtured in whispered conversations and stolen glances. A love that dared to defy the rigid social boundaries that separated them. Their relationship became a beautiful, secret world they built together. They found solace in the stolen moment, a shared smile across a crowded dinner table, a brush of hands in a dimly lit hallway, a note slipped into a book. Their love was a whisper of the heart, a delicate melody played only for them to hear. One stormy evening, as rain lashed against the library windows, they sat by the fireplace, the flickering flames casting dancing shadows on the walls. The atmosphere was charged with an unspoken tension, a longing that hung heavy in the air. Eleanor rose from her chair and walked towards Clara, her eyes filled with a mixture of fear and determination. She knelt before Clara, taking her hands in hers. "Clara," she began, her voice thick with emotion, "I cannot deny what I feel for you any longer. You have awakened something in me, something I never knew existed." Clara's heart pounded in her chest. She had longed to hear these words, yet the reality of them was overwhelming. "Eleanor," she whispered, her voice choked with emotion, I feel the same." Tears welled in Eleanor's eyes as she leaned in and gently pressed her lips to Clara's. It was a tentative kiss, filled with the weight of their unspoken desires and the fear of the world outside. But as their lips met, a spark ignited, a powerful current that coursed through them, confirming the truth they had both been afraid to acknowledge. In that embrace, amidst the storm raging outside, they found a sanctuary, a space where their love could exist without judgment or fear. They knew the path ahead would be fraught with challenges, that their love would have to remain a secret, a whisper shared only between their hearts. But in each other's arms, they found the strength to face whatever lay ahead, bound together by a love that was as undeniable as it was forbidden.